Hello all. Today we are going to discuss about the question, what did you do in your previous project? So when you sit down for a business analyst interview or a scrum master interview or a product owner interview for that matter, the very first question that they'll ask you is, what did you do in your previous project? That's very important. So now you should not be giving any theoretical answer. Example, let's say it's a business analyst interview and they ask you this question. You might say something to the effect of, I worked in the liaison, I gathered requirements, I converted the whatever the business verbally said into a business requirement document and gave it to the development team. Now these are all theoretical answers. The very first point, so when they ask you this question, what did you do in your previous project? The very first point that you have to say is the business purpose. You have to talk about the business purpose of the project. And this is true, especially if you are a business analyst or a scrum master. It's more true for business analyst. So you need to know the business purpose of the project. So let's say, for example, Amazon was coming up with so a good business purpose would be Amazon was coming up with a mechanism to retain customers and coming up with a mechanism to decrease customer defection. So we had to build a executive dashboard which would primarily focus on customer satisfaction, primarily focus on the star rating that the customers give after they call the customer service representative. So a visualization that would focus on the reason for leaving and so on. So that now these features, we've built these features so that the executives can take decisions faster and easily, and they don't have to go into chunks and chunks of content, as opposed to they can just see a visualization chart and figure out what's going on wrong and what's going on right. Now, this would be a good example of a business purpose, right? Another example that comes to my mind is, so again, I'll give you a similar example. Morgan Stanley was coming up with a mechanism to decrease customer defection or client defection and increase customer retention. In order to accomplish this, we built features and functionalities like key performance indicators for customer service rep, net profit versus net revenue, visualization charts on why the clients left, etc., so that the executives can take decisions easier and in a very straightforward way, as opposed to going through chunks and chunks of data. Now, this would be a good business purpose. So you have to give them a business purpose as opposed to some kind of a theoretical answer. So when you do this, it looks very professional. The person who's interviewing would understand that you have worked and you understand how things work on a high level, and you understand the business processes better. So this is always better answer compared to saying things like, I wrote requirements, I wrote the design document, right? So this is something that I want everyone to focus on, because that's the very first impression. The first impression is the best impression, right? So that's the very first question that they are going to ask you. And most of the candidates, they'll start talking theory. You should, as a BA or a Scrum Master, you should always talk features, functionalities, systems. Stories. If you are a Scrum Master, you would talk more stories. How did you manage people and so on? So this is what you have to say in the case where they ask you, what did you do in your previous project? That should be your very first line, and it should be a very real-time, practical, clear, compact answer. So hope you are able to gather some important info through this very short discussion, though it's just one-sided. So please do subscribe to my channel for more videos. And thank you, and you all have a wonderful day.